If I may now link to my colleague, Chriselda Lewis.
Well, these live pictures as the procession carrying the empty coffins of the victims of the Enyobeni Tavern tragedy, symbolic funeral taking place this morning. This is the cortege or the procession that has just left the mortuary in Mdantsane. And we are headed now towards the Scenery Park sports ground, where the official program will get underway. A somber moment for the country, and a somber moment for the people of Scenery Park and East London at large. These 19 empty coffins which have now left the mortuary will then be placed at the tent that has been erected at the Scenery Park sports ground. The 6th of July marking that moment where these families will never forget. It's a country in mourning. Many questions still being asked about what could have been done to prevent what has taken place. Just some of the victims. Inamandla Wetu, born on the 17th of the 2nd month, 2006. Azizipho Zilindile, born on the 21st of the 1st, 2006. Lungile Begiso, the 28th of the 11th, 2005. Litemba Velapi, the 10th of the 12th, 2001. Oyena Ngoloi, born on the 22nd of the 8th, 2005. Tembinkosi Silwane, born on the 23rd of the 2nd month, 2008. Ovayo Mateise, born on the 5th of the 7th month, 2007. Sikelela Chemese, born on the 21st of the 8th, 2007. Lilita Metugo, born on the 4th of the 7th, 2006. Just some of the victims of this tragedy. Tribute being paid today. In just a moment, I will also speak to Mam Elaine Gogo, who is in charge of this send-off here today at the mortuary that we were coming from. I'll just read out a few more of those names. Born on the 28th of the 2nd, 2005. Sinothando Mkangala on the 13th of the 11th, 2004. Nathi Ngoza, born on the 30th of the 8th, 2004. Smamkele Sobetwa, born on the 29th of the 11th, 2004. Kungentando Nzima, born on the 10th of the 4th, 2004. Inathi Nkani, born on the 12th of the 3rd month, 2004. Mbulelo Rangile, born on the 17th of the 11th, 2003. Sandanath Mahlanhlaka, born on the 2nd of the 5th, 2007. Asamkele Tugute, born on the 18th of the 12th month, 2005. Bongolwetu Ngandana, born on the 9th of the 7th month, 2004. The cortege, the procession, headed towards the Scenery Park sports ground, where we expect the families as well as the senior leadership of the province, led by the Premier Lubabalo Oscar Mabuyane, to do a welcoming address. We're expecting remarks by the Police Minister, Begicele, and the eulogy to be read by President Cyril Ramaphosa. All that will form part of what will be today's symbolic funeral for these young people who met their untimely death. If you have just joined us, these are live pictures from Mdantsane as the cortege moves from the mortuary to the cemetery. I beg your pardon, not to the cemetery, but to the sports ground, where there will be an official funeral or an official program, if I may. There are only 2 burials that will be taking place today, one in Mount Coke and one in Haven Hills. We understand as well, I'm sure our colleagues will also have this covered for us at the sports ground where the official program will get underway. Let me bring in Mum Elaine Gogo, who is traveling here with the SABC team. She's in charge of this procession which is the symbolic funeral of 19 of the young people who met their demise at the Enyobeni Tavern. Mami Elaine Gogo, it's a very somber moment for the country, Scenery Park and the people of East London. Talk us through the magnitude of what goes into preparing for such a massive send-off.
Okay. It has taken us a moment that we have never felt before, especially for the branch of Mdantsane. That is the reason why I'm mostly in charge, because we don't want a situation whereby we don't do things accordingly. As we are led by this procession now, we want to make sure that things are happening the way that our families have required. So we've been in contact with the families, and now they are waiting for us at the stadium, waiting to see these symbolic coffins as if they are bringing in their children, although we've left behind their children, based on their request as well. Whatever that we have been doing, we want to make sure that they are all involved. We don't do things on our own. We listen to the families and then we do according to what they need.
And just to reiterate again, Mum Elaine, these are 19 empty coffins that are headed to the sports ground. One other has been buried already, and another's remains have been taken to Butterworth. Today, there will be 2 funerals that you will preside over, one in Mount Coke as well as the other in Haven Hills. Just some clarity for our viewers on all of in terms of what will unfold today with relating to that. So after the official program, those 2 funerals will get underway.
Yes, after the official program, we're going to come back with those empty coffins. And then the 2 loved ones that are in our cool room will be loaded into the coffins, and then we take them off. The other one will go to Haven Hills, and then the other one will go to Mount Coke and be buried today. Then we'll be left with 17 children, whereby the other branches now will come and collect, like we are expecting Umtata to come and collect one of the children, one child, and then the other 2 will be collected by Butterworth for burial on Saturday and Sunday, and then the other one will be collected by our East London branch to be buried on Saturday as well. So on Saturday we'll be having around about 13 funerals, and Sunday 2, Thursday 2, as the other 2 will be in this afternoon. Yes.
Mum Elaine, you've been in contact with the families. I don't think anyone could have imagined that we would be here today talking about. I just read out the names of the deceased. To lose a child in this fashion. You deal with burials all the time. These families have been left absolutely devastated by what has taken place.
It's a very emotional situation that we're dealing with at the moment. But fortunately, we've got our Office of the Executive Deputy Mayor that is always having those consultations with the families. Then after their consultation, they will give us an update as to what is required. So whatever that we're doing in consultation with the Office of the Executive Mayor of Buffalo City.
Mum Elaine, I'll come back to you just very shortly, and I'm going to ask If you've just joined us, these are live pictures, as this is the final send-off of these loved ones. This is the journey that is being travelled, the final journey of these young ones who met their untimely passing. This being the final journey of those young people. Something that has sent shockwaves throughout this community. A community that continues to call for justice. And has essentially asked that whoever should be held responsible for this should be brought to book. Perhaps this is not a conversation that would be held at this particular point, as these families go through grave difficulty today. While it may be symbolic, and while these are empty coffins that are inside this procession that is leaving in Tanzania now, these families are calling for justice. The families were not at the mortuary this morning, but some of them have already arrived at the sports ground, where the official program will get underway. We're going to be joined by Elaine Gogo, who is in charge of this procession once again, to talk us through what will be the remaining aspects of what will take place today. 2 funerals, as she indicated, one in Mount Coke as well as in Haven Hills, that will take place today. So not a mass burial as we had come to understand, but this being a symbolic gesture of what or how to send off these young people. This being the final journey of remembrance for these 21 young children, 19 in this instance. We'll continue to follow this procession. Mami Elaine, let us bring you